Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. In today's video, we have an urgent update regarding the escalating tensions in the South China Sea. The US-NATO Navy has been rapidly increasing its strength in the region, and it's crucial to stay informed about these developments. So, without further ado, let's dive into the details. But before we begin, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay up to date with our latest videos on international affairs and geopolitical developments. The South China Sea, a strategically vital region rich in natural resources, has been a subject of contention among several nations. Over the years, China has been asserting its claims by constructing artificial islands and deploying military assets, leading to tensions with neighboring countries. In response, the US-NATO Navy has been bolstering its presence to ensure freedom of navigation and maintain stability in the area. The increasing strength of the US-NATO Navy in the South China Sea serves multiple purposes. Firstly, it acts as a deterrent, showing a united front against any aggressive actions that could disrupt the regional status quo. Secondly, it provides support to partner nations in the area, fostering security alliances and strengthening diplomatic ties. Recent developments suggest that the US-NATO Navy's presence is not solely focused on military might, but also on gathering intelligence. Advanced surveillance capabilities enable them to monitor China's activities, ensuring a comprehensive understanding of the evolving situation. Nevertheless, this escalating military buildup carries inherent risks. Heightened tensions between the US-NATO forces and China's naval fleet raise concerns about potential miscalculations or accidental clashes. The delicate balance in the region demands careful navigation and diplomatic engagement to prevent a full-blown crisis. The US is expanding its military presence in Asia in a string of moves aimed at countering Beijing and reassuring Indo-Pacific allies that America will stand with them against threats from China and North Korea. The U.S. actions stretch from Japan to the Solomon Islands, and they involve more and increasingly advanced military exercises in the region and additional troop rotations in key areas facing the Taiwan Strait and South China Sea. In some cases, they also could provide logistical support in the event of any conflict with China, specifically in defense of the self-governing island of Taiwan, which Beijing claims as its own. The announcements in recent weeks have triggered angry responses from both China and North Korea. And they come as U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is expected to go to China next week in what will be the first visit by a cabinet-level official in the Biden administration. American forces and their allies in Asia are ready for battle after years of joint combat exercises, a United States general said Wednesday, adding that Russia's setbacks in Ukraine should serve as a warning to potential Asian aggressors like China and North Korea. U.S. treaty allies like the Philippines, Japan, and Australia, among others, have shown that they will band together, that they will not stand for aggression from these nations that have decided they want to change the world order out here, Major Gen Joseph Ryan said. Emmanuel Macron's recent warning that European countries could become vassals of the United States in a confrontation with China was unwise. But the French president is not the only U.S. ally wary about being drawn into a crisis over Taiwan, driven by what he called the American rhythm and a Chinese overreaction. The possibility of conflict between two nuclear-armed superpowers is not just terrifying. The economic turmoil of an all-out Cold War with China, an economy 10 times as big as Russia's, would make the damage unleashed by Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine look mild. The Philippines, America's oldest treaty ally in Asia that used to host the largest U.S. naval and air force bases outside the American mainland, has allowed larger numbers of visiting U.S. forces to stay in rotating batches and preposition weapons and combat equipment in at least 9 Philippine military camps under a 2014 defense pact. The Philippine decision to allow a broader American military presence was announced during a visit last week to Manila by U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin. In the broader Asia-Pacific region, Washington has reinforced an arc of alliances to counter what it says are threats posed by an increasingly belligerent China and North Korea. China has frowned on combat exercises involving the Americans in coastal areas facing the South China Sea, which Beijing claims virtually in its entirety, and has accused Washington of meddling in Asian disputes and dangerously militarizing the region by regularly deploying US Navy warships and jet fighters. Combat readiness exercises hopefully would make potential aggressors think twice, Ryan said. The US and the Philippines have agreed to hold about 500 small and major combat exercises in 2023 and expand annual military drills following disruptions caused by 2 years of coronavirus lockdowns, according to Philippine military officials. That does provide some deterrent effect against an adversary in the region, who would look at that and say, I don't want to take a step that may cause a government, a politician, to decide to go because I don't know that I can win if I've got to face that trained, ready force, Ryan said. While military commanders say the joint exercises are not directed against any particular country, Ryan said China's increasingly aggressive actions were an alarming reality the region should brace for. Does the backdrop of PRC aggression enter our minds when we train? Absolutely, he said, and in the case of the Philippines, U.S. forces needed to be ready to fulfill their obligations under the 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty. We feel duty-bound to ensure that the Philippines can maintain and will maintain their sovereignty, Ryan said. So aggression from the People's Republic of China that makes our treaty ally uncomfortable makes us uncomfortable. The Philippines filed nearly 200 diplomatic protests in 2022 alone against China's aggressive actions in the South China Sea, a resource-rich and busy waterway where Vietnam, Malaysia, Taiwan, and Brunei also lay overlapping territorial claims. Asked if U.S. forces and their Asian allies were ready to respond if a major crisis similar to Russia's invasion of Ukraine breaks out in the region, Ryan said, absolutely. I'm very comfortable that we're ready, but that doesn't mean I'm satisfied. We can always get better, said Ryan, who commands about 12,000 soldiers under his infantry division. He said experts would be flown in from Hawaii to train American and Filipino Army troops in jungle survival and combat tactics during the Salaknib, the first of 2 major combat readiness exercises starting next month in the Philippines. Ryan said America's adversaries should consider political dialogue and diplomacy because war is complicated, it's violent. It can go a number of different ways. Russia found that out. They continue to find that out. We thought that Ukraine would quickly succumb to Russian military power. That didn't happen, he said. The most important reason in my view, by far, was the will of the Ukraine people to fight. It was also crucial that the United States and NATO had helped train Ukrainian troops and enhanced their capabilities to deal with security contingencies for years before Russia launched a large-scale invasion of Ukraine on February 24, 2022. The increasing strength of the US-NATO Navy sends a clear message to China and other regional actors that any attempts to disrupt the status quo will be met with a unified response. However, it is essential to maintain open channels of communication and pursue diplomatic solutions to de-escalate tensions and avoid a dangerous escalation of conflicts. As tensions continue to rise in the South China Sea, the presence of the US-NATO Navy plays a crucial role in maintaining stability and ensuring freedom of navigation. However, finding a diplomatic resolution to the complex geopolitical issues at hand remains paramount. We hope you found this video informative and insightful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and share it with others who might be interested. Remember to leave your thoughts and comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to stay updated on future videos. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.